Greetings in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, Melech of Yasharal, Kohen forever according to the order of Melchizedek. All esteem, honor, and glory unto our Alua, Yahuwah, the mighty one of Yasharal. My name is MELEK Shelomoh. This is MELEK Shelomoh Trading. And let me just highlight this risk disclosure before I jump into the video.
General disclosure. All MELEK Shelomoh Trading LLC materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure. Trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
All right, so now I'm going to jump into a little bit of technical analysis on a higher time frame and break down where we're at and where we should go or may go in during this week's session. So we're going to start off here with a 4-hour channel chart. So we've been going up in this uptrend here in this channel for thousands of years, and we finally got a little break, right? So let's see here, big uptrend. We first got the sellers taking control at the 21st of February. All right, so that's when the downtrend began, and I created that down channel right there from that time. Right, so we tested a breakout of this channel here at around the 3rd of March. Didn't succeed. Proceeded to hit the bottom here of this channel at roughly the 11th of March, right? After that, we started to have a change in character. Well, actually, the change of character started probably around, let's see, the 10th of March, right? So after that, we started to move sideways, and we basically broke out of the channel. And now we're creating a new channel from this low right here, the low of the 13th of March, right? So now this channel right here, let's just use some arrows. So this channel right here should push us back up into the dominating trend, the uptrend, right? That's the big uptrend channel right there, right? Let me just put that back into perspective. Right, so if all goes well, this should take us back into this channel and we should have a lovely year, right? If that fails, let's see. If the bulls get an upset, then we hit this and we continue down. All right, so that's a higher time frame channel analysis, right? So right now we're in this uptrend, broke out of this down channel, went sideways, created a new up channel here, about to get into this bigger up channel if it got steam, right? So now we're gonna examine this sideways movement under the Wyckoff theory. So we have here, this is our accumulation, right? So we're accumulating preliminary stop here at 56.2275, or let's say 56.2375. We had this selling climax here at 55.8550, automatic rally at 57.27 right there. Don't do that. Stop, right. We came back down, created this secondary stop at 56.0250. All right, let's see here.
Absorption ES sellers at $5,811.
This sign of weakness right here, secondary stop sign of weakness, and we pushed up and created the uptrust action, right? So after we created the uptrust action, we came back into the range, bounced out again, right? Created something like another uptrust, right? So buyers are testing right there. You see we have a big wick. So this is a test outside of the range, testing to see if we have breakout power, I guess. So we came back down here, cleared out some shorts, some longs who were trying to break out, cleared them out, cleared out some shorts coming back in, right? So both sides got clipped right here. Big wick to the downside, big wick to the upside, right? Came back down in the middle of the range, tested it, found buyers, big gap up here. And today we shoot out of the automatic rally, and this is let's see here, this is not supposed to be here. Let's take that away. Right, so we're pushing back up now into, let's see, let me just put this into perspective. Right, so this was the distribution that led to the breakdown, right? So we have the distribution, we have the buying climax, preliminary, is it? Yeah, preliminary supply, buying climax, automatic reaction, uptrust, and so forth, right? It's all labeled here. And then we start getting the lower points of supply and we start breaking down. If you want to get a little more in depth in the Wyckoff theory, there's some books on Amazon. Just type in Wyckoff theory and you should find some books on that. I'll probably pull it up in a second and show you which books to which book. Actually, I'll post it somewhere for you to check it out, right? So at the end of the video, I'll give you a link. So we have these lower points of supply breaking down, big downtrend, and then we have a change of character where we start accumulating, right? So I started the accumulation process by labeling these areas or these levels, right? So we're breaking out of the accumulation. We should start squeezing some of these lower points of supply, heading back up into this range here. Basically, we might be just testing where the sellers took control, which would be around these areas here, right? And let's see if we find more sellers here, right, to probably continue down or probably have enough buying strength to push and squeeze through, right? So let's see, take this off. Right, so that's the Wyckoff theory analysis right there. We should get some upward movement out of this accumulation. Let me just make it bigger just so you can see it. Right, if you want to check out, if you want to take some of these, maybe create it on your own chart, do some analysis on your own, you could check these levels here, take a screenshot, and you could create your own levels and see if they match up with mine, see if the accumulation structure is properly labeled according to the books and the theory, right? So let's see here, we're going to go over to, this is a daily chart. We have some Camarilla pivots and floor pivots here. Plus we have the monthly VWAP. Actually, that's not the monthly. Let's see, go over here. Wait, hold on. 1 second. Should have updated this. Let's see. All right. So we're going to anchor these VWAPs here from March 2nd. Right, so we're going to have, this is the monthly VWAPs here. Take this off. This is more like a first quarter VWAP, right? So we're going to just deal with the monthly so far. Let's see what we have, right? So this for me is something I call the accumulation structure that happened here, right? This is a strategy I use with the deviation bands along with some pivot levels. So these are floor pivots, right? So we have floor pivot S4, we have S3. This is Camarilla S5, but is labeled L5. 1 second, hold on. This is floor pivot S2, 57, 40, 75. And these are the monthly levels, right? So floor pivot S1, 58, 20, 50. Camarilla S4 at 58, 40. Camarilla S3 at 59, 27, 75, right? So let's see, take this off. All right, take all of them off. right? So usually I look to take, because it's basically an accumulation structure, right? And we're looking to catch the breakout. So I use the deviation bands even on smaller time frames, right? This is just a bigger time frame, but price action does the same thing, regardless if it's a big time frame or a small time frame. So we came down here, we're testing these lower deviations. That's 2.5, the blue, that's 2. Actually is minus 2.5, minus 2, minus 1, and that's VWAP. So that's minus 1 deviation, minus 2, minus 2.5, right? So you can see here, we break down, we push back in. We break down from minus 2, we push back in, right? And we come down here, we barely even touch minus 2. And usually I look for an accumulation between, I'm at it, if I'm aggressive, I'm taking a long somewhere at the break back. Like let's say it shakes out below um, minus 2. You could take a long when it pushes back in. Let's see, we come down here, we don't test this. I usually take a long trade and I call it a bowling green strategy, right? And I basically use the deviations along with these support levels like S4, floor pivot S4. This is a monthly level. These are daily candles. So this is a heavy support level here. It's an extreme level for price to be at for the monthly, right? So this breaks down, barely doesn't get to minus 2 deviation. Could start taking longs here, stop below here, stop below the deviation, right? So this is on a bigger time frame. I'm not taking these kind of trades, but I'm just saying like it's the same process on like a 5-minute chart, right? So we have the accumulation break above minus 1 VWAP. We have the retest hold. We get some long trades to VWAP, numerous long trades to VWAP. This one here pushes back up and we gap open, right, at floor pivot S2. Now we're here at VWAP, pushed above VWAP, we had VWAP buyers, and now we're back here at floor pivot S1. This is monthly levels again, right? So we have a double pivot zone, Camarilla S4 and floor pivot S1 is in close proximity. But now we have this first upper deviation in line with this double pivot. So right here, this is a resistance zone. It used to be support, right? We attempted to get a support buying right here, right? You see the wicks right there, pushing back up above, trying to get back to Camarilla S3. Camarilla S3 is providing resistance, was support, right? Was support here, providing resistance now. So I'm expecting this to probably start creating some kind of resistance, right? So now for me, this is somewhat of a 360 fire strategy. This is where price rotates back. We get a reversal and it rotates down again. So it creates that circle, 360 fire, right? So that's what I'm looking at here as a possible trade. Now let's see what the buyers have. Maybe the buyers want to reclaim Camarilla S4 if they have enough juice. But we're basically testing certain levels like here where the sellers took control, right? So these levels here, sellers took control a lot here with this pushing it down, even though the buyers came back up, but around these levels is where the sellers take control, right? So if we have buyers, they gotta push through here because I'm suspecting that some higher time frame participants wanna defend their positions where they went strong here, right? So resistance zone around 58.20, 50, 58.40, around that level. Maybe we could get a shake above there, clear out some stops, and probably the shorts might reinstate some of their positions or add to their positions or whatever. Right, let's see here. So that's the daily. So that's the monthly levels for the Camarillas and the floor pivots. Again, you can screenshot those, go and double check, see if those make sense to you. And now we're on the 1 hour chart, right? So this is what I do. I actually, from the previous week, I have a volume profile, right? So Currently, the volume profile is, let's see, I have to update that by 1 hour. Right, so from the beginning of the session, this is the weekly session volume so far at 5808.75, right? So you can see here we have these purple lines here are low volume nodes, right? We have a high volume node here that's in the red, more low volume nodes, right? Now the reason I draw this level here, or this box right here, this rectangle, is because of this. I actually use a 2-week volume profile, right? And with the 2-week volume profile, you can see here there's a low volume node here at 57.85.75 and a low volume node here at 57.54, let's say 57.55, right? So I draw that zone right there, showing where there's low volume, right? So usually price likes to fill these low volume gaps. So possibly we could get a retracement back into this level here, right? So we're looking now at price structure to see what it's going to do. Now I have some previous low volume nodes here from last week, right? It's lining up here with this low volume area. This is a previous VPOC. So I actually label at the end of the week when the volume profile fills up the entire week. When we end, that's the volume profile or the VPOC for the week, right? So I just label them and I put the date. So this one is the 2nd of March. Excuse me. This one is the 16th of March here. And yeah, I think we have one here on the 9th of March, right? So 56.12.50, we have 57.02.25 and 57.82.25, right? So these areas is just areas to kind of look at, probably targets or looking for resistance or what price is going to do around these areas, right? So it could kind of impact your trade where higher time frame participants might exercise the option to buy or sell around these areas, right? So we have some previous week high volume nodes here, right? You can see I labeled them. This is low volume, LVN, HVN. Now, let me just show you something here again. Right, so these are the TPOs, right? So the TPO from last week is, let's see here, is in a overlapping higher value from this week here, right? So I'm highlighting it over here. So we created value overlapping higher value, right? So I labeled the value area high, the value area low, right? Which is at 56.66.25, right? Then we have the POC at 57.16.75. Oh, no, don't do that. And I should lock that. All right. So let's see, the value area high for the prior week was 57.26.25, right? So right now price action is creating value above the prior week's value. So we're above value area high and we're seeking to create new value, right? And something I want to note here as well, this is a single print, this pink line right here, and you can see how it lines up with the top of the low volume profile box that I drew here, the rectangle, right? So this could be because we actually we shot up here kind of aggressively. So this could be a place that we revisit, at least to probably tag this single print, right? Because the market doesn't really like to leave single prints behind. So we could see this revisited before we do any more upside moves. So let me just point that out. So we could get this before we get this, right? Now let's see here. I'm going to take this off. Just look at the VWAP for the week. So these are anchored to the beginning of the week. We have the, wait, hold on, where is my, I want this to be 2.5. Where are you? Something isn't right here. Where is it? Where is it? 2023. All right, that's it. Wait, hold on. Oh, they're on the wrong day. We gotta anchor it to the beginning of the session. Okay, cool.
Boom.
So
Absorption ES sellers at $5,812.05. Boom.
all right.
Sweep ES buyers at $5,812.75.
All right, so that's some bookmap alerts. We'll get to bookmap in a second. So we have some upper deviations here. First upper deviation, this red line. Second upper deviation, darker red. And this copper line is 2.5 deviation, right? So usually we get some resistance here at these upper deviations. I have a black sun strategy where when we come up here, price gets burned in a distribution structure around these levels, and we already have signs of a distribution here. We have basically something like a preliminary supply right here on this candle. Then we have a buying climax. We have the automatic rally here. All right, let me just do this. All right, so automatic rally level, buying climax level, uptrust level, right? So now, usually in the Wyckoff theory distribution structure, after this, if we're supposed to be distributing, we're supposed to start making some moves to create lower points of supply, right? Coming back down into this low volume area. So if price is going to do that, it's starting to set up for a distribution right now. Does it have to break down? Maybe not, but as I went over, we have single prints here. We have this low volume node, so it's possible, right? Hold on one second. Right, so let's see, that's the weekly levels for the VWAP. And what the VWAP is showing that the first upper deviation is presenting some resistance right here. We have the Wyckoff theory distribution probably playing out here, right? So let's throw on some Camarilla pivots. These are the weekly levels. We're up here already at Camarilla R5, right? Broke out of Camarilla R3 here at 57.51.18. Camarilla R4 is at 57.84.11, and R5 is at 58.22.58. So we have that uptrust hitting Camarilla R5, and that's a big resistance zone, right? So will it be able to push through again and just go bullish from here? We have to see, right? Now it's looking like distribution. We at the upper resistance level on the Camarillas, so it's looking treacherous right now if you want to just go long without any pullbacks, right? So now we have some floor pivots. We have floor pivot R1 here at 5,850. That's lining up with VWAP, right? That's the first bullish target, right? So in the floor pivot dynamics, this is a bullish target, right? We want to push out from, let me just take off the Camarillas for a second. Right, so we want to push off from the central pivot, which is here, right? Central pivot is at 57.13.25. So another theory with the floor pivots is if we open above the central pivots and the central pivots is higher than the prior central pivots, you see I'm pointing them out right here, prior week central pivots, we have a higher value relationship where the central pivot has moved up to this level here. We have a gap open, right? All of this was signifying or indicating that this is probably a bullish move, right? You have the gap, you have the open above here. We never come back and test this level. That's extremely bullish. A lot of times, I think it's like 73% of the time, this gets touched in the weekly session, right? So usually it happens around the open, or like the first week, or I mean the first day or something like that. So you have to check those stats on your own, right? Don't just go off of what I said. So
Boom.
yeah, so it's
Absorption
extremely
ES
bullish
sellers at
open.
$5,812.75.
So we're extremely bullish open from the central pivots and the floor pivots point of view. And then we get the first bullish target. Second bullish target is floor pivot R2 at 5830.50. We haven't gotten there, almost got there. The high is 5825.50, right? So we got to see if they want to tag this. We have the first upper deviation here. See, that's curling down already. That's signifying that it's adding pressure. This is how I read it. It's adding pressure once it starts curling down. If it's shooting up like this, that means the volume is pushing it higher. So it's weighted higher, right? So price has to push up more to catch up with these upper deviations. They already caught up with the first upper deviation, but now the upper deviation is turning around on it, right? So from volume pressure pushing up on the first upper deviation, it's turning around now where the upper deviation is applying pressure on price, right? So let me just point that out here, right? Pushing up the upper deviation. The upper deviation went up. Now it's cooling down on price. Price has to now force it higher or break out from it, right? So that's how I look at it anyway. Right, so let's see here.
Boom. Absorption ES buyers at $5,814.05.
Right, so yeah, that's it for the floor pivots and the Camarilla pivots as targets and
Absorption
levels.
ES sellers
Right,
at
so we have R5, we got to break through
$5,815.
R5 and R2, right, on the next session or the upcoming session tomorrow. So hopefully it doesn't, well, not hopefully, I like to trade short. So if you're bullish, I guess you would say hopefully it does that,
Sweep
right?
ES
What I'm
buyers at
seeing right now, possible distribution,
$5,815.05.
right? So yeah, that's basically what I'm looking at right now on kind of like a higher time frame. Looking for maybe a short setup, probably tomorrow back to
Boom.
this low volume
Sweep
node.
ES buyers at
If it's bullish,
$5,816.
obviously, there is no short setup and you gotta stay out the way, right? I don't usually trade like trends. Like today I didn't trade this. I didn't trade this trend. This is the 5-minute chart now, and these are the daily pivot levels, right? So you see low volume node right here. So everything comes down to the 5-minute chart. I can still see it, right? I know it's a little messy for some people, but I understand everything was going on here. You could incorporate some of this. You don't have to use everything here. And I don't operate at all these levels. I just have these levels here to create an analysis for a high probability situation or a low probability situation, right? So now we have here what I call a golden pivot zone where we have the daily central pivot at 57.9325 and Camarilla S3 at, what is it? Let's see here. 57.9175, right? So they're in close proximity. We have the single print from yesterday on the TPO as well. We have a single print, that purple area right there, low volume area. And most likely, so you see it's lining up with a low volume retest, right? So usually this is a support area. All of this is lining up for a low volume retest, right? We're looking kind of like a distribution structure here at the close, right? Even though it's bullish today, we popped out on a higher time frame. This is looking like an uptrust right here, and we could start getting some lower points of supply coming down, right? All right, so possible uptrust, start getting some lower points of supply action back down here, right? Now, if we get down here and we get buyers again, we could get that bowling green strategy reversal, right? And if not, my strategy calls for, let's see. So we have Camarilla R3 up here. This is floor pivot R1. So since we're in like a little bullish trend right now, we gapped up, we're bullish, right? So I'll be cautious on taking a black sun strategy, which is like the reversal strategy around these areas here, Camarilla R3, floor pivot R1. Like if the bulls just want to tag their target and then just distribute from here, all of these are levels where I look for that kind of action, right? Now, yesterday's high is really close. So if we maintain price action within, let's say, IB high, right, which is 5804.50, then we could shoot from IB high on the prior day, or even tagging this top central pivot, right? We could tag that because remember I said these central pivot levels, price action likes to tag that at least once in the session, right? So if tomorrow we get a tag right here, we could look for a bullish setup around these areas. So this is a central pivot, Camarilla S3 support level. We look for like a bowling green setup right here, and we try and target yesterday's high. If we get more action, Camarilla R3,
Boom. Absorption
and
ES buyers
then
at
floor pivot R1, right?
$5,813.25.
So usually I wouldn't, let's see how much points is that. Let's
Boom.
see
Absorption ES
if
buyers
we
at
get an entry here at 57.95.
$5,813.75.
That's 30 points to yesterday's high, 44.25 to Camarilla R3, and 52.25 to floor pivot R1, right? Usually I wouldn't hold, or price action just wouldn't, according to my trade management, I wouldn't be able to hold during the pullbacks to catch all of that, right? I'm usually trying to catch like 12 points, right? So risk 3 points to catch like 12 points. So probably like a 3-to-1, right? So yeah, so maybe I would stop out like let's say I catch 57.95 long entry. 12 points is just right here, right? And what does that line up with? That's previous day's VWAP. This is where VWAP from the previous day ended. So I just labeled that as well. It's just information, right? So this could be a target for me, right? Possibly even this as a target 5804, depending on if price reacts at these levels, right? So that's basically kind of like my setups. It's mean reversion kind of trading. And I trade these support levels. I look for my accumulation structures from the Wyckoff theory, and I use bookmap to execute that. So let's take a look at bookmap here. All right, so we opened here, right? We have the anchored VWAPs. That yellow line is that is VWAP. First upper deviation is here, second upper deviation, and 2.5, right? So right now we're pushing out of 2.5. Hold on one second. Right, on the sub chart here we have iceberg buyers. Let me just let's see where they came in. Right, so you can see the iceberg buyers here, 266. We have some here at 21. We have 71 going off here, right? So we have some iceberg sellers as well. They were in the fray as well. So it's covered up by I have also these absorption indicators, 66 going off here. And I have these sweep indicators and stops, right? So those are stops. So let's open this up a little bit. Iceberg seller is here, 64, right? So let's go to current price action. We're coming up here on yesterday's settlement, tag that, strong bullish move. And let's look at this from a Wyckoff theory perspective as well. Is this accumulation here? Let's see. Yes, this is a nice accumulation structure here. So we had this selling climax, automatic rally, secondary stop, move sideways, pushed up thrust action, came back down here, created the spring, push back up into the range, retest this level here, this auction level, and now we're pushing out, right? This is the volume point of control, the POC. This migrates around as we get to higher levels. Now this is from the prior session as well. No, this, yeah. So this is from the prior session as well. Let me just switch over to this one right here. So this one resets at this ETH open, right? So let's see where the volume pointer control is here. Since it reset at the ETH, the overnight volume
Sweep
point of
ES buyers
control
at
is now at
$5,815.05.
right? So I usually label that. Right, so that's the volume pointer control. So we're pushing out of the accumulation and we're pushing higher, right? We're up at the 2.5 deviation band. We have liquidity pulling off the offer. And let's see what liquidity is looking like up top. So we have liquidity here at 58.25, 58.27. So bulls want to probably get to these levels. We have some buy sweeps here. This is usually indicative of a reversal or counter price action. So it's kind of counterintuitive. We have buy sweeps and you would probably get something like this, a retest of this level here. So let's see. Let's take a second and just observe what price action is going to do. So if it does break above the buy sweeps, that's another bullish indication for me. So we're heading up to 2.5 deviation. We're getting exhaustion from the buyers. This buying bubble here is a lot bigger than this one. So where's the buyers? We don't find buyers, we pull back. So let's see if more buyers are going to step in here in this little auction and push price out. Right, we have icebergs coming in, buyers coming in, liquidity coming back in the book. I guess they were smelling the weakness here a little bit. They step in, making buyers have to push through them, or maybe they're just spoofing, so they'll probably pull their order at the last minute. Let's see. We have buyers slowing down into this liquidity, so let's see what they do. And they pull back, right? Not really heavy selling, but they're just pulling back off of this liquidity here. So let's see if they're going to revisit this area where they had high volume here and high buying volume. So let's see if they come back to this level at 58.1350. All right, buyers looking like they're holding it here, but still no follow through. This is possible exhaustion right here. And let me just open it up a little bit more. All right, they're spoofing because they're pulling orders, they're adding orders, they're pulling orders. So this is just an algo trying to manipulate price action by putting stuff on the offer. I think they're trying to cap price here a little bit. So let's see what they do. We have buyers coming in, immediate sellers drop back down, not much sellers, small selling, buyers controlling the offer right now, the best offer. major selling coming in here, but no follow through. So let's see if more sellers are going to come in here. No, we have buyers. Small buying though. So this is the first attempt here. Start looking at if sellers are going to take control. They're letting buyers overrun them right now. Again, small buying. And sellers take control, right? So this is where we spotted the sellers first. Exhaustion on the buy side, sellers took control, right? They applied more pressure here, swept the book down to this level. Probably want to come down to these levels here at 58.1350, right? We have I believe this is a first upper deviation. Maybe they might retest that, right? So that's just a little sneak peek of reading order flow with bookmap. Let's see here. I want to show you, right? So this is my Discord. I just created this Discord right here. That's like the second person who's in the Discord. I believe his name is Zero Forex Trading or something like that. Let's see. Do I see it? No. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to this guy. There was another person that joined, and he came in the chat. I don't know if he's still here. So I'm just getting started with my Discord, and I created this Discord to kind of demonstrate my strategies. Like, I'm gonna post this video in monthly, weekly technical analysis. When I do daily trade setups, I'll probably post it here. Trading strategies, I'll probably lay out my trading strategies. Bookmap order flow, we have I have all of these channels here from Bookmap added to it. So as soon as they post in those channels on Bookmap, they come over here in this feed. They show in this feed. This is the calendar news. So I'll post the news as the day approaches. Anything futures, forex, crypto, AI developments, and shout out to this guy Dharma for Dharma Capital Trading. He has a lot of institutional insight into Bitcoin, so that's a good view if you want to come over, check out this video. AI developments, video journals, trade recaps. I'll post my videos in here as well. Chart markups. I'll be marking up for Bookmap Academy. I usually mark up my charts when I take my trades, so I'll post them here as well. Bookmap Academy coaching videos. So when we do coaching videos, they kind of coach us and critique our trades. I'll post that video over here. We have trading books, and we have the Wyckoff theory. We have Camarilla pivots, volume price analysis, and all this stuff will get filled in as I go along. And when I want to stream live in the Discord, this will be the channel I'll use here, MELEK SHELOMOH Live Trading, right? And this is the trade flow where you could just come over here and just talk about your trades or what you're looking at. It's not a trade calling room. And I have to put my disclosure there as well that, you know, you can't really just follow someone else's trade. You have to have your own strategy and vet that properly, right? So yeah, join the Discord. I'll leave a link in the description, MELEK SHELOMOH Trading, if you want to search for it on Discord. And yeah, man, that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the breakdown, the technical analysis and all that, the little order flow. And yeah, I'll catch you all tomorrow. All right, y'all. Shalom.
Boom. Sweet.